Hey guys, uh, I wanted to talk a little bit about this BLM stuff, Bureau of Land Management. To manage public lands, remember these are people and they're claiming that the people are horses, sometimes they're dogs, and then they're sterilizing them and castrating them. But they're people, so they don't allow anybody to watch when they steal the organs from people. They're claiming to want to wipe out this certain group, whatever that group is. I don't know what it is. So the BLM prepares land use plans, also known as resource management plans. I mean, didn't David Bowie tell us this? I stumbled into town just like a sacred cow, visions of swastikas in my head. Plans for everyone, every one of you, everyone. Well, it's not every one of you. It's certain chosen people are deprived the rights, and then they're turned over as public use land projects. All right. Land use, water rights, Indian rights, all these things. When the people that are infiltrating your life, like I know someone who works for Keck who's an Indian. He has rights because there's tribal law that you have rights. So these people that knew who I was and infiltrated my life did so for nefarious purpose. They weren't friends. They wanted this. The resource management plans serve as blueprints for keeping public landscapes healthy and productive for multiple use. So literally they're going to, strip you of everything. My pretty, they told us about this in Wizard of Oz. I'm going to get you and your little dog too. Your little dog is the totality, it's the totality of everything you are, because of a hate crime against humans. This is a civil rights violation. It's very major. As these resource management plans are prepared, the BLM invites and values local voices and diverse views, respects the ties that Native and traditional communities have to the land, and develops partnerships that bring successful resource stewardship of people. Just read it. Anytime you read it, like you do with the fortune cookie, you read it and you say embed, as a funny. This is people. Now, I was thinking about the Ochoa family when I was growing up. They're from Agora, Tracy Ochoa and her sister, and I can't remember her sister's name. And her sister was seeing a boy that lived down the block from me. His name was Timothy Bluth. The Bluths are very big in the LDS church. They're very big in, they're very big in Hollywood. And so she slept over my house, snuck out to see him. And I guess, I don't know if I think she lost her virginity. All right. I just want to show you how they set this up. So it's a military family, obviously unbeknownst to me. She was the one doing bad behavior, but because I was older than her, they said that I was bad. I was somehow bad because she lost her virginity on my watch. Now, I don't know if she even did, or if it was just the whole thing was faked. Because a lot of these things they do to you in childhood are to try to make you look immoral, because you are actually public land. And if you look immoral, they can keep you as an indentured servant. But they do this when you're 2 years old. I mean, they do it a long time before you're born pure. You're obviously not committing crimes when you're 2 years old. They're still researching on you when you're young. I was subjected to torture tapes by my military father, and I was drawing things that I learned in those tapes. Like the first poem I wrote was horses, horses, horses run free. Horses, horses, horses for me. My little horse and his little me, together we run or roam happy and free, right? So somewhere, somehow in listening to them talk about horses being people, I learned about the ownership of horses, and I put it in my first piece of artwork. And then I drew this little baby that had Rudolph. There was a baby in the manger, because remember, these are miracle babies, meaning they don't come about in a normal way. They don't come about in a normal way. They tell us this in church. So anyway, this is, you guys, this is terrible what they're doing to children. And it's under the direction and authority of U.S. Department of the Interior and your school system. LAUSD is part of the ownership of me to control and maintain so that I don't have a way to come up. I don't have a way to educate myself. I don't have a way to get real opportunities. There's many different parents for somebody in a false guardianship under this law. And it does have to do with adoption. And the reason adoption records are sealed is because you're being kept as a slave. That is why they're sealed. Is everyone kept as a slave? No. It's only certain people. It's only certain people. And those people can procreate. And those people have certain genetics that they want. And they're going to take it by hook or by crook. All right? The other thing I noticed in this American Nurses Association, there's also... This is, the Kentucky chapter. This is ANA, but there's also KNA. I just want to show you this. How they're choosing names for these people. Look at these names. We got Liz Sturgeon. Remember, there's royal sturgeon being kept as slaves by the royal family, but it's really not the royal family. It's the military using the royal family to hide child slavery on our land, in America, so that they can profit on organ theft and asset theft. And they're the ones that take out the bonds on your body when you're born. And then they ask your father and your mother, the people, they're all taking loans against you. Billions of dollars of loans. And when you want to be a nurse, they say no. You're too selfish or whatever. They are abusive, violent criminals, these people. All right? It's not for the betterment of society. It is for a sadistic purpose. But look at this. Look at these names. Vicky Ann Miracle. Calico Cats right here. Calico is Calico Labs, owned and operated by Google. Editorial board, Kim Hawkins, Sadie Hawkins Dance, and Connie Lamb. Lamb, slaughter, lambs to the slaughter. I find this one weird. I find this one very weird. Vicky Ann Miracle. Right. So that's just weird, you guys. Look at the names. Always look at names and understand. You got to look up what the names mean. When you look up Lisa, Lisa is God's promise. God's promise, as we learn in church. Catholic Church, Christian Church. Yesterday I went to church and they were trying to talk about how Christians have a different vision of dying because they get to be reborn. And that's just not true. Filing this many documents against a child with intent to torture them or frame them or entrap them for crimes they did not commit, to make them look immoral so you can put them in a permanent detention center. Somebody mentioned which detention center and how to find, child marriages. There are a bunch of them, you guys. On one of the documents, it said the child, who I believe to be me, was too young to take an oath of allegiance, but on the next page, got married. And the name got changed entirely, like not the first name anymore, not the last name anymore, a totally different name, married as a child. That does not make sense. That's not normal, you guys. This is a plot against, it's actually a plot against America. It's not a plot against just certain people. It's a plot against America. because you're stifling the people with the real minds and the real talents and using them for torture and organ theft with intent to murder them through the school system. LAUSD depriving you of any rights to opportunities. That is against Title, I think it's Title, is it Title 9 or Title 6? It's against one of the major titles, right? You're not allowed to do it. It's discriminatory abuse of children. Of children. And all of those people where they kept staring at your spine, they knew there was nothing wrong with your spine. They're already given your name and told which children are being held as slaves to bring those children into the yoga class. They are not guessing by looking at your spine. These are not doctors. These are teachers. And anytime an opportunity came up, they would, everybody gets to have the opportunity except you, and people are like, well, why does this happen? It's, they call it one of the great mysteries in Catholic Church. It's not a mystery. It's evil. It's pure evil. Widows and orphans. It's not even orphans. These people are stolen from their parents in some way, or they're miracle births, meaning they stole the ovaries from another woman who was your birth mother, your God-given mother, and then made a baby from those stolen eggs, and then called it a miracle, and then kept those children as slaves. I mean, it's so outrageous. And these people get federal funding to deprive you rights. That's not okay. That's not okay. I don't know KNF. I just know KNA, but it's the same. To me, it's all the same. It's all the same kind of thing. Nurses have the legal rights that even medical doctors don't have. Nurses can decide what is good for humanity by allowing you to be tortured for money, for banking, or anything else they want to, through false marriages. Whoever Steve Hobbs is, a.k.a. Stephen Douglas, married me on paper and forged my name on a marriage document. You're not allowed to do that, even to children, especially to children. So, that's it. See you guys later.